So, a lot of people have been asking me if I was going to do a response to BuzzFeed's 27 questions that Black people have for Black people. Um, that video was super racist, as we all know.
As we all know. That's funny. I seem to remember being laughed at when I said that their questions for white people were racist. Interesting.
And we also all pretty much know that the video was basically 27 questions that white people have for Black people but are afraid to ask. Um,
And you know this how? Do you have a list of all the employees that work at BuzzFeed? Or the list of people who are in charge there of coming up with questions to ask people? Oh, wait, that's right. Who needs evidence when you have feels?
Reign of April, on Twitter, who started the Oscar So White hashtag, said that the flip side for that is questions Black people want to ask of white people. She goes, the flip side would have been questions Black people want to ask of white people, but we have none. We don't care. So
You have none and you don't care? Huh. Let me see. Oh, 24 questions black people have for white people. I guess you do care. 33 questions white people have for white people. 26 questions Asians have for white people. 9 questions Native Americans have for white people. It appears as if BuzzFeed cares more about what white people have to say on certain issues than black people. BuzzFeed's freaking racist, huh?
I read that tweet and I was like, I have questions. I have questions. I have questions. So this video is going to be 27 questions that Black people have for white people. I was originally going to get white people to ask, but I don't really know any.
I wonder why.
All white people are racist.
Now I could be wrong, but that might be why.
Because we all know that those questions were 27 questions white people have for Black people, like we all know.
Well, apparently you know, it's just that you haven't shown any evidence to support that statement.
So here is 27 questions that Black people want to ask of white people.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Why do white people hate immigrants when you guys immigrated here from Europe?
Remember when every civilization just stood still and never tried to expand or conquer any other lands? Yeah, me either. And most of us don't hate immigrants. We just don't like people coming here illegally. There's a difference. Especially when there's millions of people who are still waiting to get into the US legally. But, we can't help those people because nobody's talking about them because we're busy talking about people who broke the law to get here.
When are you gonna go back home?
Well, I'm happy here for the most part. But if it's so bad here, why are you still here? I understand that you were taken here hundreds of years ago by force, but you're free to go now. You could go back to Africa, where everything is lovely and you was kings and shit. Why are you still here?
Why don't all white men apologize for mass shooters and serial killers? You know, like 80% of them are white males, right?
And that has what to do with me? Am I supposed to expect you to apologize every time a black person committed a crime? If so, I want an apology for the time my bike was stolen when I was a kid, the time money was stolen from me, the time I got jumped, and pretty much any other crime that a black person has committed. Ready? Go.
Why do white people wear cargo shorts with puffy jackets in the winter?
Why do you wear hoodies in the summer? It's 102 degrees outside, you're fucking wearing a hoodie. You cold?
Why don't white people season their food?
We do use seasonings. Just because they're not seasonings that your taste buds enjoy doesn't mean we don't use any. Not everybody's gonna like the food you cook either.
Why do white people believe that structural and institutionalized racism doesn't exist? You guys know these concepts have been proven, right?
It's been proven to have existed or proven to exist now, because I have yet to see any evidence of it existing today. I think you're confusing an individual being racist with the entire system being against you, when in reality, if somebody from a company is discriminating against you, you could take them to court, because it's illegal to discriminate based on race. Unless that discrimination is towards a white person, because, white supremacy?
What is reverse racism?
It's a term used when a white person accuses others of being racist towards them. There is no reverse racism. There's just racism. And you, BuzzFeed, MTV News are all guilty of it.
Why do white people think mayo is a slur?
Gee, I wonder.
Oh my gosh. Here comes my good white friend Larry. What do you want, Larry? Man, that's really rude, like what you just said, man.
It's just like how eggplant would be seen as a racial slur towards a black person. Now, if eggplant doesn't bother you, great. Mayo doesn't really bother me. I think it's fucking hilarious. But it is understandable why it would be seen as a racial slur.
Why are white people always threatening to kill their parents and then, actually going through with it?
Yeah, Kathleen Grier and Vincent Parker. Wait a minute. You're not white. My life is a lie.
Why don't white people have rhythm? Can you not hear the beat? It's very strange, very confusing.
Let us play fun.
They're hearing the beat. Again, just because it's a beat you don't enjoy doesn't mean it's not a beat, doesn't mean it's not a rhythm.
Why do white people get so angry when others point out white privilege? I mean, you guys do have a 300-year head start on everyone else.
Well, I get upset when I hear about white privilege because nobody seems to be able to tell me what privileges I have just for being white. I've been accused of having it plenty of times. It's just every time I say, well, what do I have that you don't have just because I'm white? And they just say, well, because you're white. That doesn't tell me anything, does it? And also, even though I'm into the whole vampire scene, I'm not 300 years old. So I don't have a 300-year head start on anybody. If that was the case, shouldn't you have a 200,000-year head start on the rest of the human race, since modern humans evolved in Africa?
Why aren't white people called welfare queens? You guys know you're the main recipients of welfare, right?
Because food stamp help for her 6 children unexpectedly ended.
There's no telling my kids that we can't eat. I'm not taking no, because my babies don't deserve that. Nobody kids should go hungry down here in Georgia.
Somebody needs to pay for all my children, and mine and Gary, all our suffering, all our pain. Somebody needs to be held accountable, and they need to pay.
Okay, I'm 30 years old, I have 4 kids, and I've been on welfare for 12 years.
Some people are on welfare for a short period of time, while others take advantage and are on it for generation after generation. Do you live in government housing?
Yes, since I was 18, but they put me out because I didn't report my boyfriend.
Are you employed?
No.
How do you feel about that?
I'm comfortable with it, and I feel like I don't need to look for one because I get a check from the government every month.
Do you feel like you're cheating the system or abusing it?
Nah, bro, it's free money.
It's free money, she says. Now, I'm not saying that there are no white people that act like this, but this is what the media has been showing. So it's understandable for people to perceive black people as welfare queens over white people. And if you want to get mad at that, fine. Call it racist if you want to. Just like I think it's racist how the media doesn't seem to make it worldwide news every time a white person gets killed by a cop, which happens way more than black people getting killed by cops. But, you know, racism.
Why do white people think affirmative action is racist? The number one beneficiaries of affirmative action are white women.
Yes. However, I just think it's a little messed up that people would be either added points or minus points just simply based on their race. Whereas black people get an addition, Asian people get minus points. So, I mean, sorry for all your hard work, but you're getting penalized for it? I think that's a little fucked up. I think it should be more racist to assume that a black person can't get into college on their own. And if you want to argue that the education system is messed up, I'd agree. But don't tell me that only black people are suffering from the bad education system. White guys suffer from it too, but there's no extra push for white guys to get into college, is there?
Why do white people want to say the N-word so bad?
The only time that I've ever wanted to say the N-word is when I was getting really into a DMX song. Aside from that, I could care less about saying the N-word.
Why do white people keep saying they're losing the country? If you're losing, who's winning?
Feminists and SJWs, you know, the people who think that white males are the worst thing to ever happen on the face of the planet. But that's just my opinion.
Why are black people always late? Well, I want to know, why are white people always so late? Slang, dance crazes, you guys hear about shit like years later and then you want to act like it's something brand new.
Pretty sure they meant late as in getting somewhere on time, but hey, whatever. I mean, I just found out about Snapchat last year. I just recently found out what on fleek means.
Why are white people always renaming things? What are boxer braids?
I don't fucking know. What do you think, that if a white person comes up with something, suddenly every other white person knows about it? God.
Why do white people insist that culture belongs to everyone? Culture is literally defined as the beliefs, customs, arts, etc. of a particular society, group, place, or time. It's a particular society that has its own beliefs and ways of life. A particular society.
Right, so of a particular society, not a particular race. So for instance, if you took a white and black kid who grew up together in Brooklyn and a white and black kid who grew up together in South Dakota, would you assume that the two black kids and the two white kids are just going to have more in common? Or would the ones who grew up together have more similarities in beliefs, customs, and arts? If you said the white and black kid who grew up together, then you're correct. If you said the two black or the two white kids have more in common just because of their skin color, you're probably a racist.
Why do white people love doing indie covers of rap songs? What's that about? And why will said indie covers then get played on radio stations and in shops that would never play rap music?
Well, maybe they just liked the song and decided to cover it in a form of music that they're more accustomed to.
Why don't white people understand that saying all lives matter as a response to Black Lives Matter is redundant? All means every life, including black ones. Don't all cancers matter, not just breast cancer? Don't all forests matter, not just the rainforest? Shouldn't we be trying to save all sea creatures, not just the whales?
Right, so if all lives includes black lives, then why do you need to specify on black lives? And if I say all cancers matter, breast cancer isn't going to come and call me a racist asshole, is it? If I say all sea creatures matter, a whale ain't going to jump out the sea and call me a fucking bigot, is it? No, it's not.
Seriously, why do white people want to use the N-word?
Because I want to know what these bitches want from a nigga. What these bitches want from a nigga. Hey yo, dog, I meet bitches, discreet bitches, street bitches, slash Cocoa Puff sweet bitches, make you want to eat bitches, but not me. Y'all niggas can eat off the plate all you want, but not D.
White people like to pretend that slavery wasn't so bad. They had food and shelter. They were also, enslaved.
You mean how, like, black people like to downplay Irish slavery, or the Italians being lynched and treated like shit when they came here? Oh, well, it's not as bad as, like, what happened to black people. But it was slaves, and they were lynched.
Why is getting approved for small business loans considered to be a white people thing?
I don't know, but the only people I've ever heard refer to something as a white thing have been black people. So, ask them, but warning, you might be considered racist for asking black people questions.
Why do white people move into neighborhoods and assume their way is the best way and then kick everyone else out?
Right, because I remember when I moved into this neighborhood, I kicked in all the doors of the white people and was like, listen here, other white people, it's gonna be my way or the fucking highway, so get to stepping and let all these black and Hispanic people move in. Because that's how it works, right? If a new white person just happens to move into the neighborhood, suddenly everything changes and everybody gets kicked out.
Why are white people stopped at a rate of 5 times less than black people, despite having a higher chance of being found with contraband like drugs or weapons on them?
Well, overall, more white people get stopped than black people. But if you're asking why black people get stopped at a disproportionate rate, it's because black people commit crime at a disproportionate rate.
Why does white America do the crime, yet black America do the time?
Are you saying I could go out and murder somebody right now and have a black person serve my sentence for me? Noted.
Why do white people love to say that race doesn't matter when you made up the concept of race?
So, it's wrong for me to bring up race, and it's wrong for me to say that race doesn't matter. Damned if I do, damned if I don't.
And the last question, why is whitewashing still a thing? Scarlett Johansson.
Michael B. Jordan. Cedric the Entertainer. Mike Epps.